Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to The Vibe. I'm Yvonne Myles, the founder of Vibrantly Living You, and this is a safe space, a learning space for embracing vibrant health in all of its many forms. That's what we're here for. That's what we've been doing over the last several months, bringing you interesting information, inspiration, and fascinating guests to share their gifts about all the facets of living a truly vibrant life. And I've got another guest for you today here, and I'll be bringing her on in just a couple of moments. But first, I did want to tell you that today is the beginning of our Raise Your Joy Nia series. Yes, it's starting today. You heard me. And this is just 4 Fridays starting today, 4 Fridays in a row to experience joy in your body through that beautiful practice of Nia. Nia is a fusion fitness of dance arts, martial arts, and healing arts that allows you to be in your body in a brand new way, lift your mood, shake off the blues or the grays. It's a very gray day here in Houston, and you can shake all of that off and feel renewed. I invite you to jump in. It's really not too late. You can find a link to register at my website, which is vlivingyou, that's the letter u.com, www.vlivingyou.com. And you've got a choice to make. You can choose either the 4 Nia class package. We're going to start just after the Vibe today, so in just under an hour. So you can choose the 4 Nia class package if you prefer, or add on the coaching element to it as well. And so you have those two different choices. Now, why would I suggest that you do that today when it's starting today? Well, if you can't make it for the class that will start in just under an hour, then you will have access to a recording in a 24 to 48 hour window. And that will go for all of the remaining classes as well. So if you have a chance to jump in, I heartily invite you to do that. You won't regret it. Okay. That's enough of the public service announcement for now, and I'll be back to remind you about that later, by the way. So, Vibrantly Living You. We are here because we believe that everybody has the right to be able to enjoy and live a truly vibrant life. Our message is for everybody, but we primarily focus on women who are either nearing menopause, you're going through menopause, or maybe you've come out on the other side. And maybe you've noticed that your body is changing. That's certainly what happened to me. I started to gain weight much more easily, and I couldn't seem to get rid of those unwanted pounds. I was not sleeping very well. I was a little more irritable, and I was just feeling just really burdened by the amount of stress in my life at the time. And all of these things come together to created in me a sense of dissatisfaction. I was not living in a vibrant body or living a vibrant life. If any of this sounds familiar to you, if you're going through this, then I invite you to drop me a note in the comments thread, and maybe we can connect and I can share more about my experience with you. A lot of that has to do with our hormones. Our hormones connect to and regulate everything about our bodies, our level of energy, the way we metabolize food, the way we feel about ourselves, the way the ability to sleep and stay asleep and feel rested in the morning. And those hormones are impacted by what you eat and how you move your body and how you handle your stress. Those are all the topics that we touch on here in Vibrantly Living You. And so I do encourage you to stay connected and join our community with this. The good news, of course, is that wherever you are in your journey, if it's not exactly where you want to be, then there help is on the way. It's not a forever state. You can make those incremental changes, one step at a time changes, and then you can have the kind of ending that I had to my struggles once I made those small changes. So that's what we're here for. That is a lot of what we've been doing in these last few months. If you've been following us, you know we've been focusing on the chakra system, the chakra system. And what is that? If you're not familiar with the chakra system, that is a practice, a philosophy of health and medicine that comes to us from India. And it corresponds to your energy body, your electromagnetic energy field. And we all have one. Now, the interesting thing about the chakra system, we deal with 7 major chakras, is that it corresponds precisely with the thinking and learning and practice of Western medicine. So those chakras line up from bottom to top along those areas where you have major organs and glands and endocrine glands and nerve centers. So it really makes sense to be able to focus in on those. For the month of April, we have been learning from and about the sacral chakra. The Sanskrit name is Svadhisthana. It is located in the area of the pelvis. So think of your pelvis, the pelvic bowl, and what's housed in the pelvic bowl, your reproductive organs. And so Svadhisthana governs our emotions. It is the seat of our emotions. It governs creation, reproduction, creativity, and that sense of identity that you carry with you, and also intimacy. A couple of other interesting things that I love about Svadhisthana, it's becoming one of my favorite chakras at this point, is that it has a watery nature. It's really raining outside here in Houston, so I think this is a Svadhisthana day. It's very watery, fluid, and that tells us that we want to be fluid. We want flow in our bodies. We want energy to flow through our bodies. And the color that is associated with Svadhisthana is orange. So each time this month, I've been attempting to wear some orange to bring about the energy and to honor and respect the energy of Svadhisthana. So that's a little bit about the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana. Now, what happens if the energy of Svadhisthana is blocked? Well, that's where you may notice that you're having those issues that are associated with the sexual organs, with reproduction. You may have trouble with sleeping and irritability and stress. You may not feel really comfortable in your skin like I did. You may struggle with your identity, with your libido, with your intimacy. If any of that is resonating with you, then maybe give me a thumbs up in the comments thread. So that may be the challenging news, but the good news is there's something we can do about it. And that's why I'm so excited to have my friend and my guest for today's vibe with us here today. And I believe she is here on the screen already. And her name is Kathy Smith. And Kathy is not only a friend, but she's a niche mate. We have very similar passions in terms of health and sharing that message with other people. Kathy is an entrepreneur. She is a healer of the first order, an herbalist, a yoga practitioner, and the founder of ARAY Wellness. She is also an empowerment coach, a wellness and empowerment coach, and she specifically helps women 50 and older experience the benefits of a healthy, calm, and active lifestyle. Her wellness strategies have helped her clients create deeper health and very sustainable health. Kathy's individualized program teaches women to up, level, and thrive. I believe that's the name of her series, at 50 and over, and to build on their wisdom and energize their purpose-filled lives. I'm loving the sound of this, believe me. And like me, she believes that when elders thrive, balance, and succeed, their lives and their legacies become cherished and unforgettable. Kathy, welcome, welcome to the Vibe. I'm so glad to be able to share this space with you. Oh, you're on mute, my love.
On mute. Got it.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be here and to be with your community and vibrantly living you. How lovely to share this space and to talk about the chakras. Oh my goodness. We are on the same page here, and I love what you're sharing with everyone, and it's so true and so needed, especially at this time of our lives and in our world today.
Yeah.
Well, glad to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. And it's so true. The chakras are something that they just kind of seem out there. I remember hearing about them when I was taking yoga, and it wasn't until I started to take this deeper dive into the chakras and their meaning and their symbolism, and realize that there's so much to learn from about them, and when we can use that as the torchlight or the flashlight into those areas where maybe we can optimize our health a little bit, or maybe we can realize, oh, something is missing. It provides that missing the shape of the puzzle piece that might be missing in our health. And so, yeah, I've just really enjoyed this journey, and I'm glad we're going to be on this journey for most of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kathy, just to learn a little bit more about you, you've been a wellness advocate for nearly all of your life. How did you know? How did you know that this was what you wanted to do?
When you listen to the whispers, the stories that keep coming up, it just becomes part of who you are. And that's what happened with me. Ever since I was a little girl, just loved to play with the plants, and they were my friends, and ate well, cherished speaking my truth with others and listening to their stories, and just learning how to relax, right? Just to be present and patient with our loved ones and ourselves is so vital. So it's just these, I consider it a tool belt that I've been creating all my life. And now I get to share it with others through ARAY Wellness coaching. And it's, I work with women 50 and over to bring the reins of their health back to them, and to live that in that seat of the elder that we're now approaching and sitting in proudly, because we've worked hard to get here. This is not our first rodeo, and to share our wisdom with others, with the next generation, and to tell our stories, to speak our truths. So that's what I do with my clients, and to help them do the same, just to empower them to know that their desires and their wants are something that is achievable, that you can attain these. We have to work at it. We have to work together. And that's one of the founding parts of my company, is to create community, to create this sacred space, to live and to support each other, and to be in good health with each other.
Yes, that's exactly the path that I envision for vibrantly living you, and I really respect that you are really taking that stand for women 50 and older, really taking that stand. And I love that we hear this word more and more often, elders.
Yeah.
It's missing in so much of our U.S. culture anyway, that the concept of the revered elder person. Yeah.
Totally. The word elder has different words that are connected to it, wise, and have lived their lives at their purpose, So that's what we're trying to espouse with our clients, with my clients and yours as well.
Yes, yes, so beautiful that you're out there. Well, I attended one of your trainings, and you are a truly gentle, kind, and patient teacher and guide. And it was about intimacy, and that's I became very intrigued. That was my first wake up call that maybe there's some blocked energies here for me. I realized that it's intimacy. Actually, I had started to form this thought before, that intimacy as well as relationship, and there's a difference, specific, between loving and relationship and intimacy.
For sure.
Certainly connected, but they can be two separate things. But that intimacy is an important part of living a vibrant life. And
Mm,
that maybe I needed to learn a little bit more about that. And of course, Spadhisthana is all about that. Creation, creativity, reproduction that requires a certain level of intimacy. But I was really struck by the phrase that you used. I've heard others use it too, but you were the first one when I was attending your training, where you said that intimacy is our birthright.
yes.
It is our birthright. So tell us a little bit more about that statement.
I started the series that I did in February, right around Valentine's Day, for a client who wanted to know more about how to be intimate and over 50. And as a wife, woman married for 37 years, I figured I knew a little bit about it. So, and we all do, whether we're solo or with a partner. And it was lovely to delve deep into it and to realize that we can be intimate in all parts of our lives. Right. So I talk about the reins of our health in ARAY Wellness. So the first one is relaxation. So an exercise that you could do with your partner or by yourself is to do a meditation, right? And one of the ones that I've really been working with lately is the 4-8 breath. So that you breathe in for 4 and then you breathe out for 8. And you do this together, right? Get your breathing synchronized. See what that feels like. And it's so powerful to have that shared experience, right? Just with your breath. And I encourage you to try to incorporate this 4-8 breath into your life as often as you can, as many parts of the day as you can. And that allows you to create this sacredness in your whole day. So your intimacy. And the second part of the reins is exercise. So how could you do that? Working on your sacral chakra and energizing those emotions. And you could do a two-person yoga session where you would do, simple poses like tree pose. And you've probably seen pictures of them on Instagram or in social media, where two people are just standing next to each other and their hands are touching each other. And then they're just both standing in tree pose, and just feeling again that breath, feeling the energy of the earth come up into your bodies. So it's things like this that are they seem so simple, and subtle, but their effects are so profound. So I encourage my clients and yours as well to incorporate these types of practices into, before you're going to have, your date night, and just to create that sacred space, because it enhances your sensuality, right? It just brings you into the present, into the moment, and then you can share more of yourself with your loved one or yourself, and vice versa. So it's just so critical as we age to enhance these things and to celebrate each event, because we just it's our time. This is our time. We're getting through the pandemic, thank goodness, but maybe we have extra time on our hands, and we can. My sister, lovely woman, acupuncturist, and died a couple years ago. She gave me her massage table. So we've been using it through the pandemic. So lovely to just give each other massages and to get that sense of touch, to reduce cortisol and to increase the endorphins, you know, oxytocin, just create the vibe that you want to bring to your relationship, to your, romantic or otherwise. It's just so important. And then, there's always nourishing foods that you can bring into the bedroom, for intimacy, aphrodisiac foods, or, just, fun things. And chocolate's always a good thing. Strawberry, berries, any of those, like sensual, avocado's good, mango, just anything, and just play with it, make it playful, be fun. You know, this is our time, as I said before, to just embrace who we've become. This is like every moment of our lives has brought us to this point. And so we just want to celebrate that in as many ways as we possibly can. And the last part I'll talk about is sleep, and just how to bring, a good sleep hygiene into your intimate life is huge, right? Like, nice sheets, try that. A nice hot bath before you get into bed, just, put the Epsom salts in, the lavender, essential oil, have, sprinkle some essential oils on the sheets. It's, and if they're pure, they won't stain your sheets. So think about that, get some good sources of essential oils, and, interweave these ideas into your life. And they're just, they change things ever so slightly, but over a period of time. And my mantra is slow and steady wins the race, is that they just become part of who you are, and it changes everything, right? To bring plants into your life. I've been an herbalist for 30 years, and it's, it allowed me to become the healer in my family for my loved ones and myself. And that's so empowering, right? To not have to rely on Western medicine. Thank goodness it's there, right? For acute things, it's chronic even, it's good to have, but it's also good to know that there are options that we can do ourselves.
Yeah, plants for sure, and definitely the food that we eat,
Oh my
and
gosh.
the food that we choose not to eat that introduces uh,
Right.
disease. We talk about that a lot. We'll be talking about that. In fact, next month we'll be into our Raise Your Resiliency challenge.
Nice.
Yeah, you have hit on so many great things. A couple of keywords that I just wanted to point out, if you didn't hear her, was the sacredness of it, the sacredness of intimacy, of connecting with that other. And I know that everything that you suggested can still be done as an individual. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, you can hold that tree pose and do it with breath and with intention and connect deeply within. So I really liked the concept of sacredness, doing it with that purpose in mind. Yeah, I have a sticky up on my desk. It says taking care of your body as a spiritual or sacred practice, elevating it to that level. It's not just, oh, I'm
Mhm.
gonna go work out. I gotta go work out. I haven't gotten enough steps in. It's more about placing your own body, your own spirit on a pedestal and creating that sacredness around it. So I appreciate that you said that. And then the other word you used was celebrate.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We don't have enough celebrations in our world, right? We take ourselves so seriously. You know, one experience that just comes to mind is in June. I used to live in Vermont, and we would be we would go outside in the middle of June, and there would be lightning bugs, and they're just magical, right? And the kids were little, and we would go out and we'd camp. And on the solstice, it was, I mean, just transformational, right? And the kids, they didn't know what I was doing, but I was completely just enamored with the whole event. And I still remember it. How many other June, 21st have I gone through and don't remember? But because I celebrated that day, it's still there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
Celebrate days,
yeah.
you know,
I, yeah.
pick anniversaries, pick, special days, and then just, create a whole routine around it and bring it all, to the present. And I just love that you're working with the chakras. It's just, I just love them. Just imagine that we have a rainbow moving up through our bodies, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, the green is the heart. I mean, it's just amazing.
Stay tuned, that's coming.
Can't wait. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. You had pointed out, especially in the series that I took with you, the training back in February, that intimacy changes as our bodies change. Yeah. Explain a little bit about that.
I talk about how, hormones change through menopause, especially. And as we age, there's just needs to be more attention brought to, as you said, what happens to our sleep, what happens to our energy levels. Many of my clients say, I just want more energy, Kathy. I want more energy at the beginning of the day so that I can get out of bed. And I want it at the end of the day so that I can finish strong every day, so that I can travel, now that we maybe can, and visit people and just do the things that my heart's desires. And that's what I try to incorporate through just paying attention to the fact that we are aging, right? One of my favorite quotes from the Desiderata, was a poem that I love, is to gently give up the things of youth and to notice that, right? Okay, maybe I don't go to the CrossFit gym anymore, but I can still, go for hikes, maybe not 25-mile hikes anymore, but, I can't, I can still enjoy being out in nature, being with, my kids. We go skiing. I don't ski where they go, but I still go skiing. And so we can just keep up that presence for the next generation, for our families to be there, right? One of the biggest things that as we age that we worry about is missing out on, family events. And that's why we need to keep our energy up. That's why we need to eat well so that we don't have to go to the doctor, so we don't end up in the hospital. Think of all the time that we save by not scheduling doctor's appointments and going to them and, going to the hospital and the cost that involves all that. And then you're just not there. You're not there for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones. And that's what we tried to work on through the Intimacy After 50 series. And it was amazing to, to offer nutrition plans that, through the pandemic, I've been doing intermittent fasting and eating twice a day, which, saves time and money. And so it's fun to just have those ideas to nourish your body in a gentle way, but also that is very satisfying, right? To use those oils that are good, the nuts, the chia seeds, to make your own granola, with or without grains, and just to keep your resiliency up and your immunity up, because that's where we'll thrive. That's how we stay ahead of the game.
Yeah. I found myself during the pandemic experimenting more with
Yeah. Oh,
foods and, with sugar detoxing and seeing my energy surge after that.
yeah.
People in the community join us for the sugar detox and experimenting with different recipes and really enjoying not going out to eat.
I know.
Noticing the difference.
Yeah.
Every time I go out to eat and having foods when I, go pick up some prepared foods from my local food garden,
Yeah.
then, I get fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Fluffy, I don't like the way I feel, but once I come back to eating mostly beans and grains and the nuts and the seeds, that my energy just goes through the roof. Right now, I'm doing another thing that I will be talking about in
Can I just add something to that?
Sure.
Is you talked about eating at home, right? And we've just, many of us become better cooks, and I love to cook, and just, I love food. So, and one of the benefits of eating at home is that you can make enough so that you have leftovers. And it's just crazy, but it's just something that I'd love to talk about because it saves you time and energy, and you don't have to cook
Mhm.
twice. So just think about that when you're,
Yeah.
when you're
And
baking.
possibly another way for intimacy too, if you've got a partner.
Totally, right.
It,
Cook together. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, and my next series is Nourish Your Vitality, kick sugar and caffeine to the curb. So
ah,
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
I've been taking the caffeine lately, and feeling really, really great.
It's amazing.
Well, I've been
Amazing.
taking the coffee anyway. I'm still
Yeah,
taking the caffeine, but it's
right?
yeah, and just yeah, to find that right substitute. What I'm learning is that what I want is something that's warm and something that has some body to it and a
Yeah,
little bit of flavor to it.
yeah,
And
right.
getting that through a substitute. So I didn't think I would ever be able to not have coffee.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Like,
Okay. So how I think you've started to allude to it in certain ways, but if you don't have intimacy in your life, then how can that affect your health and your well-being?
it's amazing. Just like food, when you kick coffee to the curb, what happens to your sleep? What happens to your ability to relax? So when you don't have intimacy, it's the same idea, right? There's just these parts that are overlying your entire life, right? When you can be intimate with yourself or others, you can relate more to others, right? Even if it's just to walk by someone and to catch their eye, right? To just make those little comments to the checkout clerk, or, say thank you to your postal deliverer. It just makes these connections. And one of my favorite ways of building intimacy with my community is to volunteer. So it was just Earth Day. So we went to our local park, and they had these beautiful beds all laid out that they had used last summer, and they had covered them with straw, and they just needed someone to, take the, few little dandelion weeds and the straw off. So it just creates this other way of being in the world, of seeing who you are, of realizing that you have these amazing talents, right? These tools to share with your community. It's so important to realize that. And then, there's this little boy, and he was like, where are the bugs? And I just happened to pull out an earthworm, this long. I went over, and he was just dancing around. I mean, it just made my heart glad. Everybody who was there was laughing. It was, it's these moments of intimacy that you least expect, and you have to carve them out of your life, right? Just, write that letter to a friend. I went and visited my son in Seattle, and I just wrote him like this 2-page thank you letter. I didn't know there was going to be a 2-page letter, but when you sit down and write, these ideas just come up. And it's just getting in touch with yourself, with your body, and who you are in the world. And that's what intimacy is. If you don't have it, all of that is lost. And it's up to you to find out where your strengths are, right? What your superpower is.
Mhm.
And that's where you can start with your intimacy. If you're an artist, become intimate on a canvas, and then share it with someone or show it to someone. And that's how you can develop that.
Yeah, what you've really been hitting at is identity. Who
Yeah.
you believe yourself to be at the most intimate level. And once again, that's in the realm of Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. Identity. It's connected to creation, creativity.
Totally.
Yeah, I love how this all comes together. And when that's blocked, when you're not certain about it, then you hold back, and you hold energy back, and you block the flow of energy. And when you block the flow of energy, that is what brings in dis-ease. Yeah, dis-ease. Yeah,
Yeah.
so much to learn from here. Oh
And I
my,
love that. I just wanted to add
yeah,
that I love the idea that the chakras have universal energy. And I'm a Reiki practitioner, used to do it in the birthing pavilion and intensive care nursery. And these women were so grateful for it because they were able to settle into where they were, to bring that awareness, and I could share it with them, and they were so grateful. And it's just lovely to know that. And one of my favorite phrases is a proverb. It's an African proverb. You probably heard of it. Heard it. If you want to go fast, go by yourself, and if you want to go far, go with others. And so that is part of my calling in my community, is to go with others, right? That when we do this journey, that we can go better together.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. We have often visited that proverb here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is just so, it's a beautiful concept.
Yeah.
An idea and something truly, truly to strive for.
Right.
So, I'm trying to figure out what question I want to ask. Next, have have you noticed transformation in other people's lives as a result of what you bring to them?
I love to encourage my clients to recognize what it is that they truly want, whether it's, by yourself, in intimate relationships. And that is requires them to go within, right? So we do journaling, we do meditation, and that's where the transformation comes from, right? We all have the answers within us. And it's just taking that time, listening to the whispers, getting quiet in our world, so that, our, like, when we talk about the sacral chakra, it's our pelvic floor. It's where, when we're doing yoga, we can embrace the mula bandha, where, it's like a Kegel exercise. And so we can strengthen that part of our body, which then allows us to have more strength to go out into the world. Many women are afraid because of leakage and, incontinence, that they don't want to go out. So to embolden my clients, that's what I encourage them to do. And to work with the chakras, it's important to focus on it and to see, is there a blockage there, like you were talking about? Is there something that I need to work on, right? Is it my sacral chakra, my root chakra? Where is the channel that's not working quite so readily? And Reiki does the same idea, opening up the chakras.
Yeah, that's great. So let's get real specific, and this will be my last question to you. But what can people over 50 and or 50 and over do to make certain that we have healthy intimacy in our lives? I know you've started to answer some of this, but if you were going to just bring it home for practical types of things, what would that be?
I would encourage you to, in terms of intimacy, listen and focus on what you feel that is missing. Right? So if you are stressed, take that time. I know it's so hard to carve it out, but get up first thing in the morning is what I recommend, is get up and do a 10-minute journal and a 5-minute meditation, so that you can hear what it is you want to do that day, right? Every day is such a blessing. We have to make the most out of each of it. Then, work on how to make yourself as strong as possible, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Do whatever it is. And I'm a huge exercise advocate, as are you, Yvonne. The AMA, American Medical Association, says 150 minutes a week. I don't think that's enough, but start there. Start with 50 minutes and then work up, so that you can be vibrant so that you can live that life that you really want to.
Mhm.
And then with, how to become stronger in terms of your health and your immunity, get your rest so that you can wake up and do what you want to do, and then eat well so that you have that energy as well, but you're able to go back and do your exercises. You're able to sleep well because you don't have this crazy, food inside you that is hard to digest.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
and
and then you have the rest, you have the energy that you need throughout the day. So
right,
you're craving foods, trying to get the energy that you lost because you didn't sleep well. That was, when I really started to pay attention, was it's all of these things are linked.
oh,
All of these things are linked, and I've been listening to a lot of experts at a summit of a food revolution summit, and and they're saying every time you go to the doctor is looking at one specific problem, and, and the prescription is really almost always the same, and the root of the problem is almost always the same. It's about stress and inflammation. It's
right,
from a flood of stress hormones in your body. And it's from lack of movement. It's from lack of nutrients from the correct foods or the better foods to feed
exactly.
your body. It
Mm,
all relates. It all relates. Everybody out in the field right now, you and me and thought leaders that have been out there for a while are saying the same thing. It's about the quality of the food that you put into your body, the consistency of that. It's about the way you move your body or the lack thereof. It's about how you handle stress, and it's about how you are connected to other people and to the environment. Yeah, so it brings us back to intimacy. So thank you for pulling that up. I want to just, we're going to have to bring it to a close. I mean, I could talk about this forever. I just want to um, wrap this up by saying in your last response that the word or phrase that was coming up for me was intention. You
mm,
make these things an intentional act. You make yourself, you get up in the morning and do the journaling and the meditation. I have something that I call my 15-minute core play workout that I do. Or
mm,
sometimes I do 15 minutes of yoga. And oftentimes, when I'm sipping my, coffee, but now it's not coffee, I'm just letting, letting the day, unfold in my mind. I suppose that would be my meditation, but I could be more intentional about it. This is going to be journaling and meditation, period. And that brings me a certain amount of peace, but it's that point that's it. It's that making it intentional. I
mm,
really like how you brought that out. Thank you very much. So we are running short on time because we get to raise your joy in a few minutes. Raise your joy. Can't wait.
Woo! Mm.
But I believe that you may have brought something to share with my community.
Do. Yes. I have an empowered health checklist that I would love anyone who is interested to grab and find out ways that are, again, simple, easy to do. You might be doing some of them, but it's just good to check and say, oh yeah, good, I'm doing that. Oh, well, maybe I need to do that a little bit more. So just sign up for that. I would love to share it with you. My series coming up in end of May, same as Yvonne's, is Nourish Your Vitality, Kick Caffeine and Sugar to the Curb. So yeah, I'd love to have anybody.
Yeah, that's perfect. We will put links to Kathy's checklist on our website, and that will also be a way for you to find out about her series that is coming up. Right? Am I correct in saying that?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Um, there was something I wanted to say about that. Oh yeah. So your series. Say the name of your series again.
Nourish Your Vitality, Kick Sugar. This time is called Kick Sugar and Caffeine to the Curb.
Okay, all right. And right now, my series is called Raise Your Resiliency. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it. And we talk about the foods that are going to be the most nourishing for you and balancing your system and your energy. But the best part is that um, it looks like the timing of I think we're doing the same dates, but the timing I think is going to be that you could go to Kathy's and come to mine, or depending
Perfect.
on the time, or flip it the other way around. Watch, for heaven's sakes!
Schedule it out.
Double dose. So be on the lookout for that. Oh, before I forget, chakra food and chakra move of the
Oh,
week. Yeah. So apologies for not including something like chocolate, to play in the bedroom. But because it's got its Dana and its watery nature, I've been choosing soups and stews and dressings as chakra food of the week. And today's chakra food of the week is a mushroom barley carrot soup.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks pretty easy to me. I love anything that has mushrooms, especially when you're able to saute them and let that umami-ness just leak out. And when, oh, I just love it when they get roasted, oh, I just love it. Oh,
Oh, barley. Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great grain, isn't it? Nice and chewy.
Love it.
Yeah, so very, very satisfying. So I will, but to get that, you're going to have to go to my private group if you're not a member. It's Vibrantly Yours. So you can request to join Vibrantly Yours. We are simulcasting this Facebook Live into Vibrantly Yours. So if you're already a member, no worries, just look, it'll be there. And then and then if you try it, let me know how that is. And if anything that Kathy has said or that we have shared in this series of the Vibe, this episode of the Vibe, please leave us a comment. Give us a thumbs up. I'd love to continue to engage with you. We that's part of that connection, right? It's part of that becoming intimate. Yeah, connecting. So connect. And then our chakra move of the week. Oh yeah. This one, very simple, very simple. It's just pelvic circles, just pelvic circles. So just, you can stand with your feet hip width apart, soften your knees a little bit. You can put your hands on your hips if you'd like, and then just let that pelvic bowl move around in a circular motion. That can really unlock and unblock the energy. Imagine that you're hitting 4 points from hip to back to hip to front, and you can deepen and make it nice and sensuous. You can widen your legs if you'd like, or bring them in more like inside hip width apart, and let that whole pelvis be nice and mobile. And go the other way. Then go the other way. There's another way to do those hips or pelvic circles, which would be to widen your feet a little bit more distance, and then kind of take the whole body around in a circle. So there's two different ways you can do it. I like the one that really allows that up and down motion. When we had Sahira on a couple of weeks ago, we did something called the figure eight with the hips. So this is just circular like this. I think there's an analogy she used, or a metaphor that she used when we were doing hip circles in her class when I was taking belly dance with her. And it's like you're trying to scrape off the batter from a cake that you're just the rim you're trying to get every last drop. Okay,
I love it.
you have to go. Okay, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna put some comments out there on Vibrantly Living You or Vibrantly Yours, and let us know how this information has resonated with you. You are gonna look for Kathy's checklist. You'll find a link for that probably a little bit later today, because we've got to get into class. And you're going to look for the chakra move of the week, and you're probably going to make yourself some mushroom barley carrots. You're going to let us know how wonderful that is. And yeah, so it's a great day. It's a wonderful day to celebrate. Yeah. Okay.
Yvonne, thank you so much for having me. It was lovely to be here to have this conversation with you.
Ah, And likewise, and we are going to find ways to bring you back, and we are going to find ways maybe to bring our communities together.
Yes.
Great if we had a retreat.
Tana, amazing.
Creativity in motion. Spadistana is working. I love it. I love it. Last chance. If you want to get in on Raise Your Joy, it starts in about 7 minutes. And just drop me a line in the chat. Get over to www.vlivingyou, that's the letter u.com. Quickly sign up, and I'll send you a link to either get in or you can get the replay. Meanwhile, oh, it's so sad to say goodbye to Spadistana. April's over. So,
Keep doing those exercises.
yeah, do those exercises. Yeah, I've been moving so much. Now it's like, try to pin me down. Next week, we move on to Manipura, chakra number 3. But I'll wait till next week to tell you all about that. My friends, it is always a joy for me to be here with you. And I look forward to connecting with you in whatever way I can be of support to you. Book a breakthrough session, a Vibrant for Life breakthrough session with me, and let's take that step together to live a vibrant life. Because remember, a vibrant life is yours for the taking.
Mm-hmm.
I just thank you once again for being here. And to everyone, we'll see you next week on The Vibe. Bye for now.